Laker fans, how we doing? My name is Sammy Long here with Hoopstock. Tonight we're getting into a little Lakers-Warriors preview for tomorrow. Ginormous game. Could be a potential play-in rematch next week if the standings stay the same in the Western Conference. Hopefully they don't, though, and the Lakers can move up. I'm going to get into three things today. I'm going to talk about what Golden State does well, what they don't do well. I'm going to get into the injury report, some real big question marks there. Anthony Davis, LeBron, both questionable. Really a toss-up if they're going to play or not, and the Warriors seem pretty healthy, so we'll get into that a little bit later. And then we're going to talk about how the seeds 6 through 10 in the Western Conference are completely bunched up. Rarely has there been an NBA season where it's come down to this many open spots in positioning this late in the year. So it's been really fun to watch. And we'll get into some possible scenarios later in the preview. But to start off, Golden State, we know this team. This team likes to shoot the ball. They're 8th overall in scoring, a little around 118 points per game. They're also first in rebounding per game at around 47. That's really surprising to me because they go small ball. They're not a big team. Draymond Green's their biggest player. But maybe you could think that it's because of all the long rebounds coming off, lots of shots. The Warriors try to take double the amount of shots you're taking. That's kind of their game plan. And they're also fourth overall in assists per game at 29. So it's kind of crazy that a team that's 4th overall in assists, number 1 overall in rebounding, 8th overall in scoring is sitting at the 10th spot in the Western Conference. It really just shows you how deep this entire Western Conference playoff field is this year. And this is a game the Lakers cannot take lightly. Every time Curry and LeBron play, anytime the Lakers Warriors play, it's always a crazy game. I mean, earlier this year, the double overtime game. It just always comes down. You kind of throw out the records when these two teams play. And I've mentioned this in other videos. It kind of feels like an NFL divisional game where it's like it doesn't really matter how good they are, how bad they are. When these two teams get together, they're not scared of each other and they just know each other so well. The Warriors are a team, and Al said this a lot in the post-game show. You don't fear them in a 7-game series necessarily because of the lack of size, and they're older and they really need Curry to carry them. But in a 1-game scenario, this team can be very scary in a play-in. I mean, again, look at last year against the Kings. The Sacramento Kings were a better team than Golden State Warriors all year. And then they get to a game 7 and Curry drops 50 points and wins the game. So this is the problem with the play-in and having to win 2 games. So it's really crucial that the Lakers can try and move up because, a Curry goes off. Clay rewinds the clock. I mean, Clay quietly is averaging almost 18 points per game, and he's been struggling a lot this year, and he's not the same. He's older. The injuries have really kind of caught up to him, but he still can go off in a 1-game scenario. Jonathan Kuminga is a really nice player for them. He averages around 17 a game. Andrew Wiggins averages 13. So, and we all know what Draymond brings to the table. Not quite the scoring, but great defense and that kind of intense mindset. He'll try to get people to get technicals and just kind of get in the other team's head. The Lakers got to be careful. They need this game. The Warriors actually, if they win tomorrow and then win the rest of their games, they'll pass the Lakers. The Lakers will be in the 10th spot. And that's a lot to ask. To have to go into Golden State, get a victory, and then maybe go to Phoenix, maybe go to New Orleans, maybe go to Sacramento and play in a game. I mean, that's hard. And then let's just say you get out of that. Then you have to go play the Thunder or the Nuggets or the Timberwolves. I mean, the chances the Lakers getting out of that gauntlet is pretty low. Whereas if they put in the work now and can move up, I think they got a shot to go deep in this Western Conference playoffs. But if the Warriors do lose once, if they lose tomorrow, if the Lakers beat them, they're locked in the 10. They can't go up. So it'd be nice to win that game and then just not worry about the Warriors until possibly next week. Looking at the injury report, obviously Sunday's game was sickening. It'd be one thing. The Lakers have been on an absolute heater recently. It'd be one thing if everyone's healthy and you just lose to a great Minnesota team in a close game. It's hard to come on and kill them because they've been on a crazy win streak, winning a ton of games, 5-1 on the road trip. But LeBron doesn't play because of flu-like symptoms. And then, Anthony Davis can't control getting hit in the eye, but the Lakers are controlling that game until he gets hurt. The Lakers look like the better team in the first quarter. And then Anthony Davis goes out. And it's just, they don't have an answer. I mean, then all of a sudden, instead of keying on LeBron and Anthony Davis, they're keying on D'Angelo Russell and Austin Reeves, who both had poor games. You're not going to win when your 2 best players not there. I mean, that's like taking Anthony Edwards off their team. Let's see how many games the Timberwolves win without Anthony Edwards. So, it sucks to see that one go and slip away because it's just one that the Lakers probably could have won if, unfortunately AD didn't get hurt, if LeBron wasn't sick. Now, hopefully tomorrow they come out and win this game. And everyone had been saying, go 2-1 over the weekend into the Warrior game. You beat the Cavs, you lost the Timberwolves. Here's your chance to go 2-1, and then go beat Memphis, go beat New Orleans, and you're probably looking at least an 8 or a 7 seed in all as well. And in this Sunday game won't haunt you as much. But if the Lakers come out and lose tomorrow, and let's say the Lakers lose next week in the play-in, I think a lot of people are going to point to that Timberwolves game and go, that might have screwed the season. And I don't think that's going to happen. I think the Lakers are going to win tomorrow. I'm just saying that if the Lakers are stuck in the 9 spot, there's been some questions about, LeBron doesn't play back-to-backs, but then this is the end of the year. For all reports, he's sick, and I believe it. I'm not sitting here saying that LeBron is faking that he's sick or anything like that, but it's just one of those that you might look back on if the Lakers aren't able to move up and go, that's one that kind of did him in. And hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully I'm wrong. But, we could be looking at that. On the Warriors end, they're completely healthy. Everyone's going to go. Gary Payton Jr. is back. Draymond's going to play. He missed the last game, but he looks like he's going to go. So they're going to have everyone on deck, and the Lakers really need to bring it. It's going to be in LA. It's going to be rocking, and hopefully they come on top. Heading into where everything stands, it is so tight in the Western Conference. I mean, there are a ton of games tomorrow that mean something for the Lakers. The Lakers are 1.5 games up on Golden State. We kind of touched on that if the Lakers win tomorrow, Golden State's locked in the 10, and we don't have to worry about them. Whereas if the Lakers were to lose and the Warriors went out, they would pass the Lakers. Lakers would be looking at the 10 spot. But right now, the Lakers are a half game behind Sacramento. They're 1.5 behind the Pelicans and the Suns. Now, the Pelicans are probably the most catchable because you have the Lakers play them on Sunday. So even though they're a game and a half above, you can make up a game on Sunday. The Pelicans have a tough schedule. They're in Portland tomorrow. They should win that game. But then they're playing the Kings and then the Warriors, and they finish the Lakers. The Pelicans have been reeling. Obviously, Brandon Ingram's not there. Zion came back. He had a great game against the Suns, but he's still nursing a little bit of an injury. It was pretty surprising that they went in to play Phoenix and played that well because Phoenix was on a complete roll, and New Orleans kind of seemed to be in a free fall. And Phoenix is another interesting thing. They're 1.5 games up. They have the third toughest schedule remaining in the NBA. And people kind of penciled them in the 6th spot when they ran through Cleveland and were looking great. And then you lose to a Pelicans team on your home floor without Brandon Ingram. And now you're looking at, they play the Clippers in a back-to-back, a home and away. Hopefully for the Lakers, Clippers can get one of those games. You think even without Kawhi, they could get one of those games. And then they have, looking here, I mean, Sacramento and Minnesota. Those are 4 tough games that the Suns have. And the Lakers are on the tiebreaker against the Suns. So if the Lakers win out, I still firmly believe they're going to move up. But it's up to the Lakers. If the Lakers bring energy, and, I got to give them some credit going back to the Timberwolves game. The team could have laid down. I mean, LeBron's out. AD gets hurt. The Timberwolves are playing for the 1 seed, so they're bringing everything they can. And the Lakers fought back in that game. They got down 20, and they cut it all the way to 6, something like that, 5, 6. I mean, without Reeves playing well, without D'Angelo Russell playing well, Rui played out of his mind. He looked unreal. Taurean Prince had kind of a rough night as well, but Jackson Hayes, another little bright spot. So I like the resilience they showed in that game. I think earlier in this year, that team might have rolled over early in the year when they didn't kind of have that cohesion of the whole unit together. But they didn't win the game, so they got to win the next 3. Sacramento's schedule, they are a half game up on us. They're in OKC tomorrow night, so hopefully they lose that game. Then they got the Pelicans, Suns, and Portland. So they have a brutal schedule as well. These teams all have harder schedules than the Lakers, so the Lakers have zero excuse to not move up in the standings. If the Lakers come out and lose the Warriors, or somehow, let's say they beat the Warriors and lay an egg to Memphis, or they beat the Pelicans, they don't deserve to move up in the standings because, they're finally getting some help from other teams in the sense that the Pelicans are free falling, and the Suns had a rough game the other night, and the Kings lost Herter and Malik Monk. And again, we don't wish for injuries, but that's affecting their team a lot. They had a tough back-to-back. They were up on the Knicks big last week, blew the lead, and then got beat in Boston. They were down big, and they kind of made it close at the end. But in looking at Golden State, the Lakers, if the Lakers don't win the game, it's very realistic that they could win the rest of their schedule. They play Portland, the Pelicans, and the Jazz. Portland's atrocious. The Jazz are atrocious, and the Pelicans are reeling. So, this is like a playoff game tomorrow, and they all need to bring it. I hope LeBron and Anthony Davis are playing. The Lakers will get Gabe Vincent back, which is great. They're obviously easing him back in because he missed most of the year, and they don't really want him playing back-to-back, so he missed Sunday's game. But he's really crucial, especially against a guy like Curry. Without having Jared Vanderbilt, your best defender on the floor, you have Reddish, who's good, but a liability offensively, so he kind of gets limited minutes. Gabe Vincent, if he can get his shot back under him, he's a guy that can guard Curry if he's blown by D'Lo or Reeves and they're having some trouble guarding him. He's a guy that Ham can stick on and hope to limit, somewhat. You're never going to shut Steph Curry down, but limit him enough to where LeBron, AD, and these guys can take over and win the game. So, hopefully, please tune in for the postgame show tomorrow night. Hopefully, we're talking about a Laker victory. And look it up in the standings. Please like and subscribe. And I'll be doing the comments behind tomorrow night. And Alan will be doing the postgame show. So thank you guys, and see you. Go Lakers.